This is Ring of Honor superstar and king of the KO, Shane Taylor, and you are listening to the Tapped Out Wrestling Network.
Hello and welcome to the Pro Wrestling Personified Podcast. I'm your host, Louis Carlin, and this is the New Japan Pro Wrestling, Ring of Honor, and NXT edition of the Pro Wrestling Personified Podcast. Flying solo this week again, but I'm looking for people who actually watch New Japan Pro Wrestling, Ring of Honor, or NXT that might be interested in maybe joining me one week as a guest host here on the Pro Wrestling Personified Podcast. So if you watch New Japan Pro Wrestling, Ring of Honor, or NXT, and you have some podcasting experience, or even if you don't, and you want to give podcasting a try, you want to sit in and talk about the shows, shoot me a message on Twitter at PWSOTH. That's Twitter at PWSOTH. Shoot me a message. Let me know your interest. Maybe if you want to talk a little bit about the podcasting experience you have and what shows you want watch, that'd be great. So that's for this New Japan Pro Wrestling, Ring of Honor, and NXT edition of the Pro Wrestling Personified Podcast. So if you watch those shows, again, shoot me a message on Twitter at PWSOTH, and we could work on getting you on as a guest co-host, because I like doing these solo, but It's more fun when I have somebody along for the ride. So yeah, so shoot me that message. I'll be looking for messages on Twitter. Again, at PWSOTH. Alrighty, and I believe I did mention we're part of the Tapped Out Wrestling Podcast Network, but I'll say it again. We are part of the Tapped Out Wrestling Podcast Network. And it's good to be here. Actually, a huge week. We added New Japan Pro Wrestling to the mix. I bit the bullet today. Not today, this week. I signed up for a New Japan Pro Wrestling World, the streaming service. And let me tell you, my wife is going to file for divorce because I'm not going to be spending any time with the family. I'm going to be sitting in front of my computer watching New Japan Pro Wrestling as much as I can. But no, I'm just kidding. She's there's family time, but there's also New Japan Pro Wrestling time. Pro wrestling time in general. But I've the shows this week. We had the Road to the New Beginning. The two shows were on February 5th and February 6th, and then we had the New Beginning show in Osaka. And in addition, of course, we had the Ring of Honor and the NXT show. So I got a lot of things to talk about. I'm going to do my best, man. I'm going to do my best to get through everything. I'll probably, I don't know if I'm going to get through all the matches. I might touch upon a few matches. But I might talk about everything. I have all my notes here in front of me. So what we'll do is why don't we start? We'll go through NXT first. I'll be honest. I didn't really. I saw NXT, but I was tired, so I was sleepy. I was falling asleep, so I really wasn't into it. So what I'm just going to do with NXT, I'm just going to read the results this week. I know the show actually opened this week with Sanity and the Undisputed Era having have a little face-off. Sanity, Undisputed Era, Bobby Fish and Kyle O'Reilly and Adam Cole, they came out and they said that we're going to start this week with the tag team title match, which was a little odd because the tag team championship should have been the main event. So once they came out, you just know right away something is going to happen, and it's going to wind up probably being a different kind of match. And that was my feeling, because again, this should have been the main event. It was supposed to be for the tag team titles, Sanity against Bobby Fish, the champions Bobby Fish and Kyle O'Reilly, and of course Sanity comes out, Killian Dane, Alexander Wolf, and Eric Young. And they attack the Undisputed Era, and they brawl, and security comes out. Then William Regal comes out and says, he's had enough. He's very angry. And so he makes a 6-man tornado tag team match the main event. So we're not getting a tag team title match. We're getting a 6-man tornado tag match between Sanity and the Undisputed Era. So no tag team. I knew that was going to happen. Something like that was going to happen. It was a little odd that they're going to start off with the tag team titles on the line. So so main event, 6-man, Texas, not Texas. Well, I guess it could be a Texas. It used to be a Texas tornado match, I think. Anyway, but it's a 6-man tornado match for the main event. Then the first match, Heavy Machinery against Riddick Moss and Tino Sabbetelli. The match was okay. Nothing too spectacular. Nothing too great about the match. Otis Dozovic did his little stupid worm thing to an elbow drop and blah, blah, blah. And bottom line is Heavy Machinery defeats Riddick Moss and Tino Sabbetelli with their trash compactor finisher. But Heavy Machinery, Riddick Moss and Tino Sabbetelli, there seemed to be a little dissension between them. The match, there was a few hard tags, a little confusion. Confusion about the hard tags that were taking place between Moss and Sabbetelli. Well, not confusion with me, but Moss looked confused when Sabbetelli tagged him hard, and Sabbetelli looked equally confused when Moss tagged him hard. And then the match was over, and Sabbetelli took the loss for his team. He puts his hand out for Riddick Moss. Riddick Moss shakes his head no, doesn't take it, and walks away. And looks like Riddick Moss and Tino Sabbetelli have split. This just came out of left field. They were a cohesive unit. They seemed to be fine, but suddenly, without any build up at all, they're split. I guess they're not fans of hard tags. So I don't know. I thought it was kind of dumb. I know a lot of people don't like the tag team. I like them as a tag team. I thought they worked well as a unit. But they're split. They split up, and I guess we're headed towards a Riddick Moss and Tino Sabbetelli feud. But I'm not sure what's going on there. I'm not sure. But anyway, I'd rather see them as a tag team. I thought that they could be tag team champions, but they're split. So no more Riddick Moss and Tino Sabbetelli as a tag team. They're split. And after that, Johnny Gargano speaks. As a really good segment. He really pumped up the fans. He talked about Ciampa, the crutch shot from Ciampa, and he says, man to man, he's coming for Ciampa. Then Andrade Cien Almas, the NXT champion, comes out with Zelina Vega. They go back and forth verbally. Actually, Candice LeRae is with Gargano. So, like I said, it was a good segment. I'm just trying to collect my thoughts because I know I was a little sleepy trying to think of what happened. So it was decent, but of course. The focal point of the main point of the whole thing was Almas challenge Gargano to another match, or Gargano wanted another shot. Zelina Vega agreed, but only if Gargano agrees to leave NXT if he loses, and Gargano accepts. So that's going to be looks like a fourth match between them. It's going to be Gargano going up against Almas for the NXT title for the fourth time, and I don't see how they're going to outdo that last match. That was one of the greatest matches of all time. But if Gargano loses, he leaves NXT, and is that such a bad thing? I mean, if he leaves NXT, does that mean he's going up to the main roster? So when you come to think of it, if he's going up to the main roster, then maybe it's might be a good thing for him to lose if he's going to head up to the main roster. But I don't see. It's hard because he's got to have the feud with Ciampa, and I don't know if they're going to take the feud up to the main roster. So it's interesting to see. It's interesting to see what happens here unless Gargano loses and he puts on a mask and he becomes Mr. America 2 or something. I don't know. But it would be interesting. It's just interesting. Does he win? Does he become the next NXT champion and feuds with Ciampa for the title, or does he lose and goes up to the main roster and Ciampa follows him up there? So it's very intriguing. A lot of potential here. But overall, it was a really good segment. Gargano was a really good babyface, and he really had the crowd going. And this is very, very interesting to see. I'm looking forward to the match. So it'll be very interesting to see what transpires when that match has concluded. So I'm really looking forward to it. They had a little Shayna Baszler interview. She says Ember Moon is afraid of her, so there won't be a rematch. Tyler Bate is interviewed about his loss to Roderick Strong. Says he'll be watching the UK title match. Then we have Bianca Belair, who's one of the shining stars of the young lions of the NXT Ladies Division, stealing that from New Japan Pro Wrestling. But Bianca Belair taking on Jenny. I couldn't get the last name. I think it was Boots and Tights, I believe. Let me pull up. I have this. I'm looking at. Jenny Boots and Tights. Okay, Jenny Boots and Tights. But it was a quick match. It's kind of a squash for Belair. It's good to see her. Like I said, she's a shining star in the NXT. The newcomers to the NXT division. She really could go really far, and I'm really a fan of Bianca Belair. I'm looking forward to, she's been in a lot of matches where she's, I think she's had a few squash matches. Maybe it's time to get her into a program with somebody. Maybe, have her call out Kairi Sane or something. Let's start doing something with Belair, because she has the talent, and looking forward to seeing more of Bianca Belair. And then the main event, I don't know. Actually, I think Ember Moon actually challenged Shayna Baszler to a match next week, and actually Ember Moon says, I believe she said that she was cleared by the doctors to finally wrestle again. But it was just odd because saying she's cleared to wrestle, but she was at the Royal Rumble. So I guess she was cleared within a day to compete because she was in the Royal Rumble. So for her to say that she's finally been cleared, I believe that I was a little sleepy, but I'm pretty sure she said that she was finally cleared to wrestle by doctors. And I was thinking about that, but she was in the Royal Rumble, so I don't know. But anyway, so she challenges Shayna Baszler to a title match next week. Then from there, it's we get Sanity, Eric Young, Killian Dane, and Alexander Wolf against the Undisputed Era. Adam Cole, Bobby Fish, and Kyle O'Reilly. So instead of that tag team match that they advertised last week, again we're getting that 6-man tornado match. So all I'm gonna say is that this was a good match. It was a good little brawl. It really kind of put over Killian Dane. Killian Dane, I thought was tremendous in this match. I thought it was a very entertaining main event. Lots of good back and forth action. Both units, both teams. I would say both teams are good, but Young and Wolf, they're okay, is my opinion, as a tag team. I'm more of a Killian Dane fan. That guy is tremendous. But Sanity, in the end, did defeat the Undisputed Era for the win. Again, good entertaining match. Fun little brawl. But the other thing is, I'm worried. I'm wondering about is Lars Sullivan. The last few weeks, it's kind of strange. Lars Sullivan calls out Killian Dane. Then the following week, Roderick Strong calls out Lars Sullivan. And the weeks after that, we haven't seen any interaction between Roderick Strong, Lars Sullivan, or Killian Dane. So I don't know what's going on there. I would love to see a Sullivan-Killian Dane feud. I thought that maybe Sullivan would interfere here and attack Killian Dane, but that didn't happen. So I'm not sure what's happening with that feud. On that potential feud. But hell, I want to see Dane and Lars Sullivan lock up. I not necessarily want to see Strong and Sullivan, but I want to see Dane and Sullivan go one-on-one. At least them have a stare-off or a face-down, something. Do something with them. But anyway, let's let's move on. That was NXT. Still have a lot to go, man. So a lot to go. Ring of Honor. Let's talk about Ring of Honor. Then we'll get into the New Japan stuff. Ring of Honor. Again, it was like I signed up for the New Japan Pro Wrestling World streaming service, and it's tremendous. It's tremendous, as I said earlier. I highly recommend it. It's like $11 a month. Don't get scared when you go on there and it says 999 yen. I'm in Canada, so that's about $11 in Canadian. It'll be even less for in US. So don't get nervous when you see 999 yen. It's not that it's very cheap and worth every single penny. So I actually had to watch, because I was watching The New Beginning in Osaka on my computer, and I had Ring of Honor on the TV. So it was like 6 o'clock in the morning. I'm watching New Beginning in Osaka and Ring of Honor TV. I'm just going back and forth, taking notes on both. So that's how I had to do it this. That's how I had to do it this week, because I'm so dedicated to this podcast. But I just love Ring of Honor, love New Japan, and so why don't we start talking about them? So we talk about the Ring of Honor show. So I'll just run down the matches. It was a decent show. We had Coast to Coast taking on it was the Beer City Bruiser and the new team of Beer City Bruiser and Brian Malonis. So that's LSG and Shaheem Ali taking on Beer City Bruiser and Brian Malonis. And Silas Young is at ringside, and the Bruiser and Malonis, so they use their size early on, but Coast to Coast comes back. And then Kenny King comes to the ring. I guess Silas Young was interfering, so Kenny King comes to the ring and brawls with Silas Young, and Coast to Coast brawls with the Beer City Bruiser and Brian Malonis. And the match becomes a three-way in which it's Kenny King, and maybe maybe William Regal could have made this tag team match into a tornado match as well. But anyway, but it became a six-man tag team match. Well, that's the second time it's happened actually in the week. We've had a scheduled tag team match become a six-man tag team match. But anyway. So it was King and Coast to Coast against Malonis, Bruiser, and Young. And it was a good back and forth action, but in the end, King and Coast to Coast defeated Malonis, Silas Young, and the Beer City Bruiser. Here's just a little issue that I have. I know Coast to Coast, they're building up Coast to Coast, which is fine. They deserve to get a little push. But Beer City Bruiser and Brian Malonis are debuting. It was their debut the last few weeks. They've been we've had little segments of Bruiser looking for a tag team partner. Then he finds Malonis, and then now last week he says Bruiser and Malonis are gonna debut, and they're having their debut match. It's against Coast to Coast. I think, in my opinion, that Bruiser and Malonis should have taken on enhancement talent and ran right over them instead of going right up against Coast to Coast. And of course, Malonis, Bruiser, and Young did lose the match. So I just thought maybe they could have built them up a little bit more as legitimate threats for the tag team championship. But they lost right off the bat. That's the only issue I had with the match. We had a segment with Mandy Leon and Madison Rayne talking about the Ring of Honor or the Women of Honor title tournaments. And then second match was Mandy Leon taking on Madison Rayne in the Women of Honor title tournament. The first match at the showing on TV. And it was a good match. Both women worked really, really hard. Of course, Madison Rayne from Impact Wrestling fame. Taking on Mandy Leon. And it was good to see Madison Rayne in a Ring of Honor ring. And she did really well. It was really a good match. Like I said, both women worked really hard. Deonna Purrazzo actually joined Ian Riccaboni and Cole Cabana on a commentary. But in the end, when all is said and done, Mandy Leon wins, and she moves on in the title tournament, and Madison Rayne can go home and sit in her favorite comfy chair and sip coffee with Josh Matthews, her husband. Okay, there you go. Then we had the third match, which was Dalton Castle defending the Ring of Honor World Title against Punishment Martinez. Marty Scurll joins commentary. And I say this was a Punishment Martinez dominated a majority of the match from what I saw, and I will admit I was going back and forth from here to New Japan, but from what I saw, Punishment Martinez was dominating. I would say maybe about 85% of the match. Castle got in some offense, but it was mainly all Punishment Martinez. And Dalton Castle does retain by stealing a victory. So Shayna Baszler said Ember Moon didn't win but survived their match, and you got to think the same thing here. Dalton Castle didn't win, but he survived his match. This match against Punishment Martinez. Martinez was angry, was obviously angry that he lost the match, and took it out on the boys. So he had a little post-match attack on the boys, but Dalton Castle retains and survives Punishment Martinez, and looks like he moves on to his next challenger, whoever that may be. I'm just thinking of Madison Rayne in her favorite comfy chair, sipping coffee and talking to Josh Matthews about how she just couldn't get the job done against Mandy Leon. That she underestimated Mandy Leon, and how it would have been nice if she was able to win the Impact title, Knockouts title, and the Ring of Honor Women's title, and hold both simultaneously. And Josh Matthews said, then have Josh Matthews start complaining and whining that he's not very happy with Sanjay Dutt as a commentary partner, new commentary partner on Impact Wrestling, and how he misses Jeremy Brash very much. Just thinking about that conversation. But anyway, so we've gotten through. Speaking of Ring of Honor, I forgot to mention. Speaking of Ring of Honor, just a little bit of Tenille Dashwood. Tenille Dashwood, a.k.a. Emma from the WWE. She's actually in the Ring of Honor Women of Honor title tournament. So she's a participant. She actually they had a free show on the Fight TV, free Ring of Honor show, and Tenille Dashwood showed up. It was a tag team match that she was involved in. I didn't get to see the show. I'm probably going to try to watch it at some point this week, and maybe go over it next week. But just too much was going on with New Japan, and I couldn't watch. I couldn't watch that free Ring of Honor event. But yeah, Tenille Dashwood in Ring of Honor. So that's I guess maybe that's why we didn't see her on the Brace for Impact show. Maybe I don't know if she's full-time signed with Ring of Honor, but all I know is she's in the title tournament and she was on the last show, so we'll see. If they do sign her, that's a great get for Ring of Honor. I would love to see Tenille Dashwood taking on Kelly Klein, so that will be a terrific match. But Emma, Tenille Dashwood in Ring of Honor. All right, so looks like we got we did the appetizers, and it's time to get to the main event, which is New Japan Pro Wrestling. I've added this to the podcast because I've been watching. I've been hooked. I'm totally hooked on New Japan. I have notes from 3 cards. I'm gonna go through each card, and I'm not gonna go into major details. I'm just gonna go through each match, and I hope I pronounce everybody's name correctly. And there's a lot of matches to go through, but yeah, what the hell? Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's see what we can do. Okay, so New Japan. So on February 5th. We had the Road to New Beginning. The Road to New Beginning. I think it was in Corrigan Hall, if I'm not mistaken. So, match one. We had match one, which was the Young Lions, Shota Umino. Again, I'm sorry if I get these wrong, but Shota Umino, Ren Narita, and Tetsuhiro Yagi taking on Ryusuke Taguchi, Jushin Liger, and Tiger Mask. I tell you, I like the Young Lions. Shota Umino. Umino is a tremendous talent. I love watching, as is Ren Narita, but I love watching these young lions because they're so full of energy. And it was a good match. It was a pretty good opener. Liger and Narita start. It had a textbook dropkick by Tetsuhiro Yagi. Like I said, Omina is a stud. Tremendous potential in that young lion. But when all said and done, Taguchi wins the match for his team by hitting a big move on Umino. On Umino, gets the pin, and I think it was called the Dodon. The Dodon was the finishing move that he hit on Umino. Gets the win for his team, but again, solid opener. Really like the young lions. I love watching them in action because I'm always rooting for them because I like the underdogs and they do well and they have such fire. And you're hoping for them to win and. So that was the first match, the opening match. And the second match, it was the Bullet Club, Tomoyuki Oka and Manabu Nakanishi taking on Hikuleo and Yujiro Takahashi. I said Bullet Club. Bullet Club actually Hikuleo and Yujiro Takahashi. Again, very decent match. I like Hikuleo. He's very, very tall, really good-looking wrestler. Yujiro and Hikuleo. I'm just looking at my notes here. I got so many notes here. Yujiro and Hikuleo, they dominated early. But in the end, Yujiro Takahashi DDTs Oka for the win. And Nakanishi is okay. It was okay. Tomoyuki Oka is one of the young lions as well, but Nakanishi, it seems like he moves in slow motion. I don't know. I just wasn't sold on Nakanishi, but decent match nonetheless. Then from there we had match 3, which was another match in Katsuya Kitamura's 7-match trial series. And this time his opponent was Hiroyoshi Tenzin, 20-year veteran of New Japan Pro Wrestling. Match was okay. I've watched a number of the matches, this 7-match trial series for Kitamura, and the match was okay. It wasn't the best. Wasn't the best match in the series. I tell you, Kitamura, his chops are absolutely devastating. But Tenzin, he had control of the match with a series of moves. Kitamura used his power, hit a number of shoulder blocks, but in the end, Tenzin taps out Kitamura with the Anaconda Vice Grip. So Hiroyoshi Tenzin defeats Katsuya Kitamura by submission. And I tell you, I really like this 7-match series that Katsuya Kitamura is currently on. It's wins and losses don't mean anything during this series. It's just basically he's a young lion, and they're putting him through this test to see how he's progressed since he's begun. And I really like the concept. I really like the concept of this 7-match trial series that they put the young lions through. I don't know if they're all 7-match trial series. I know there have been others, but I'm really a fan of it. It's because you watch Kitamura and he hasn't won any of the matches that he's been in this trial series yet. But again, wins and losses don't matter. They're just looking at how he's progressed, and you watch it and you're rooting for him to win. And there are other matches I'm going to talk about. There were 2 other matches, I believe, in this trial series, or one other match that we'll be talking about. But you watch Kitamura and you root for him. You want him to win. He's this monster of a wrestler, and you root for him and you want him to win. And hopefully, maybe this will be the match. Maybe this match, he'll actually win. But not on this day. Not on this day. Hiroyoshi Tenzin does get the victory. But Kitamura has been looking good. He's been looking really good. I think what happens is they go on these trial matches and then they go on excursion. Like they'll go to Mexico, or they'll send Kitamura to like Ring of Honor. I think they did that with Jay White. They sent Jay White to Ring of Honor, and I think there's a wrestler right now, I can't remember his name, who's in CMLL right now in Mexico on excursion. To further his craft, to improve on his craft. So I really like how New Japan does that. It's not like they just bring this monster in and he starts winning matches right off the bat. They got to earn their stripes. And that's why they treat it like a real sport. And I'm really a fan of that. So, but then we went to match number 4, which was Roppongi 3K Shoyo and Rocky Romero taking on Taichi, Taka Michinoku, and El Desperado, otherwise known as Suzuki-gun. I'll just say that it was a pretty good match. A big fan of Sho and Yo. They're the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Champions. It was a pretty good match. I know Sho, is it Sho or Yo? No, Sho is the one who was injured. He has a bad back, so he was all taped up. So it was, again, pretty good match between the both teams. But Sho, Yo, and Rocky Romero did pull out the victory over Taichi, Taka Michinoku, and El Desperado. The next match we had was Toru Yano and Tomohiro Ishii against Toa Henare and Juice Robinson. And that match was actually really good. I am a huge fan of Tomohiro Ishii, the Stone Pitbull, and Toa Henare, who's another powerhouse wrestler. Now, Tomohiro Ishii is a powerhouse wrestler. He's a little guy. He's not that big, but yeah, he's like. Might not be the biggest dog in the fight, but he seems like he's the toughest dog in the fight. So he's really like the team of Yano and Ishii. I know they've been a tag team for a bit, and we might see them down the line getting a shot at the titles held by Sonata and Evil, but this was a really good match. I like Henare challenging Ishii early on, and Ishii no-selling a lot of Hanare's offense, and Ishii just sort of tagging Henare with some really stiff shots. It was really destroying him. But Juice Robinson is always fun to watch. So this was a really good match. I think, if I'm not mistaken, I know Yano likes to take the turnbuckles off like almost immediately. So he always goes for the turnbuckles to make the turnbuckle exposed, the steel. So he always does that. And I think he tied, if I'm not mistaken, look, I didn't write it down, but I think to get the win, he tied Juice Robinson's hair to the barricade, and Ishii gets the victory on Henare with a brainbuster. So it was a really good match. Then we had match 6. We're gonna roll along here, man, because wow, I got a lot to go. We had Kushida versus Togi Makabe and Michael Elgin taking on Minoru Suzuki, Takashi Ishii, and Yoshinobu Kanemaru. Hope I got that right. I'm sorry, but just gonna say it was a great match, rock solid. This was all about the upcoming match between Makabe challenging the IWGP Intercontinetal Champion Minoru Suzuki for that title. And this match kind of added fuel to that fire. But yeah, rock solid match. Kushida, Makabe, and Elgin do wind up winning the match, defeating Suzuki, Ishii, and Kanemaru. Ishii's got this metal glove that he uses, which is he puts it on, I think he actually hit Elgin, or was going to use it. He was going to hit somebody, but he's got that metal glove. But Makabe does hit the King Kong knee drop on Kanemaru for the victory, and he hit Kanemaru with a lariat as well. That really kind of I thought he killed Kanemaru, to be honest. But post match, actually, Makabe challenged Suzuki for the title, and then Suzuki kind of just takes his anger out on the Young Lions, which he seems to be doing a lot. The Young Lions, one thing with the Young Lions, like we mentioned before, like Narita and the other and Umino, they're also like ring. I don't know if you call them cornermen, but they're out in the ring, and I think to keep order and if someone's hurt, to help a wrestler that's hurt. So I guess again they have to earn their stripes. But whenever they're around the ring, Suzuki seems to take his anger out on them, and he actually broke a chair on one of them. I'm not sure who it was, but actually just broke a chair on one of the young lions, and then from there we had Jay White, the new U.S. IWGP champion, taking on David Finlay, and I'm a big fan of David Finlay. I like David Finlay a lot. Very talented wrestler. And had a really good match here, good back and forth action. Apparently they have some history together, which I'm not really familiar with. But after the good back and forth action, Jay White does retain the title. He defeats David Finlay. He counters a stunner, and he hits Blade Runner for the win. And Jay White retains the title, but after the match, Jay White, as they have some history, pretends that he's shows some compassion, pretends he has some compassion for Finlay, and grabs one of the ice packs from the young lions and puts it on his neck. But then he just grabs Finlay and starts just destroying him with elbow strikes, and I think he kind of knocked him unconscious with elbow strikes. So that was a decent post match attack by Jay White, and I love this switchblade version of Jay White. Really good stuff there. And the main event was just L.I.J. I'm gonna call him. I always pronounce it wrong. Los Ingobernables de Japan. There you go. Evil, Sanada, Bushi, Tetsuya Naito, and Minoru Takahashi taking on. Where's my notes here? I'm sorry. Did I say Minoru? Not Minoru. Hiromu. It's I'm sorry. Hiromu Takahashi. So Evil, Sanada, Bushi, Naito, and Takahashi taking on Chaos. Yoshihashi, Gato, Will Ospreay. That is Kazuchika Okada, the IWGP World Champion, and Hiroki Goto, who is the never openweight champion. They're Chaos, and we had that huge match, and this was a really good main event. Again, lots of great action from both sides. Good back and forth action. Will Ospreay he's just the opening sequence with Osprey and Takahashi was just tremendous. Both of them are so awesome, and it was kind of setting up their one-on-one match for the New Beginning in Osaka. This wasn't a 10-man elimination over the top rope tag match. So to win the match, you had to dump your opponent over the top rope. Very important. I should have pointed that out to begin with. So it was over the top rope was how to eliminate your opponent. Wrestlers, I think. Who was the first? It was Takahashi and Osprey were the first ones to be eliminated. Takahashi was eliminated. He was trying to get Osprey over, and Naito spit at Osprey, and who was holding onto the ropes, and Osprey let go of the ropes, and they were both eliminated. Naito's elimination was actually fun. He was eliminated by, I think it was by Yoshihashi, but he was clinging onto the ropes with his feet, the bottom ropes, but then finally he slipped out, and it was eliminated. Okada and Sonata both got eliminated, and it was down to Goto, not down to it, but Goto and Evil had a good little exchange, and Evil eliminates Goto. Then I guess the winner would have to pin their opponent. I think pins were. I'm not really sure how. I think it was over the top rope. Eliminations by pin, submission, DQ, count out, or over the top rope. Just looking at some notes here I see online. So eliminations are pin, submission, disqualification countdown to over the top rope. Most of them were over the top rope. Last two wrestlers were Evil and Yoshihashi. They had a really good exchange, but Evil winds up winning with his Everything is Evil finisher. It was a terrific closing stretch, very fun, very entertaining match. But in the end, LIJ, Los Ingobernables de Japan, wind up winning that match. That main event, and that takes us into the second night, which was February 6th. Now, I'm not going to go through these now. I'm just going to go over the winners of these matches. So the first match, Jushin Thunder Liger, Tiger Mask Kushida. They took on the Young Lions, Shota Umino, Tetsuhiro Yagi, and Ren Narita. Liger, Tiger Mask Kushida. They defeated the Young Lions. Second match was Yujiro Takahashi and Hikuleo taking on Hiroyoshi Tenzin and another young lion, Tomoyuki Oka. Takahashi and Hikuleo wind up winning that match. Then you had another match, the fifth match in the seven-match series for Katsuya Kitamura as he took on Manabu Nakanashi and Nakanashi. Hold on one sec. And give me one sec. Yep, there we go. Nakanishi defeated Kitamura by submission. The match was okay. That wasn't one of the best matches in the series. The match was okay. Nakanishi has tapped Kitamura out with a torture rack submission. Again, like I said, I'm not a big Nakanishi fan, so the match was okay. Then Rocky Romero and Sho and Yo, Roppongi 3K defeat Yoshinobu Kanemura, El Desperado, and Taka Michinoku, otherwise known as Suzuki-gun, the Suzuki-gun members. So Romero, Sho, and Yo defeat Suzuki-gun. Jay White, Tomohiro Ishii, and Toru Yano defeated Juice Robinson, David Finlay, and Toa Hanare. The referee, I believe the referee stopped the match in that one. Let me get... So Jay White hits the Blade Runner on Hanare, and then he grabs him. He starts hitting him with elbows, and Ishii makes a Finlay watch, and Jay White makes Finlay watch, and so Jay White knocks Hanare unconscious with elbows. The referee stops the match because of that. And then we had Suzuki-gun, Minoru Suzuki, the IWGP Intercontinetal Champion, and Takashi Iizuka and Taichi. They defeated Togi Makabe, Michael Elgin, and Ryusuke Taguchi. So the Suzuki-gun wins that one. And Yoshihashi, Will Ospreay, and Gato, Chaos, they defeat Los Ingobernables de Japan. Wow, I'm pronouncing it correctly. That's cool. They defeated Tetsuya Naito, Hiromu. I called him Hiromi. My bad. I called him Hiromi earlier. It's Hiromu Takahashi. I'm just looking at my notes here. So it's Hiromu. I made it an I, not an U. So Hiromu Takahashi and Bushi. Chaos wins that battle. And I gotta tell you, Hiromu Takahashi, huge fan, very, very talented wrestler. Extreme. I love Takahashi. He's just an awesome, has great skill set, great offensive moves. Big fan of Takahashi. He's quickly becoming one of my favorite wrestlers for sure. And then we had the IWGP tag team title match, in which the champions Evil and Sonata, Los Ingobernables de Japan, taking on Chaos's Kazuchika Okada, who's the IWGP World Champion, and the Never Openweight Champion Hiroki Goto. And we had one hell of a freaking main event. Absolutely tremendous main event. Traditional slow start, feeling out process, but it really picked up. One part in the match, Evil ran Goto's head his head wrap chair into a pole. Again, lots of really, really good back and forth action. Sonata hits the Rainmaker on Okada, which was just tremendous. The Rainmaker being Okada's finishing move. And then Sonata and Evil hit the Magic Killer on Goto, and Evil hits the Everything is Evil on Goto, and Sonata and Evil retain the IWGP World Tag Team Champions. And I'm looking to seeing Toru Yano and Tomohiro Ishii to get a shot at those belts, and I wouldn't be surprised if they actually win the titles. But I'm guessing that Yano and Ishii are the next in line for title shots against Sonata and Evil. But you gotta love Sonata. Sonata is just tremendous, as is Evil. Just fantastic main event. Fantastic. Love the main event. Great stuff. Great main event. Absolutely loved it. And that was that. And then we go to... Wow, we're plugging along here. Lots of New Japan to talk about. Then the New Beginning in Osaka, Japan. The New Beginning in Osaka, Japan. Great show. Tremendous show. Absolutely loved it. I know the show started early, like I think 3 o'clock in the morning here in Canada, but I woke up about 4:30 and caught a few of the matches, but I had to go back and watch. But great card. So let's get right into it and wrap up the New Japan Pro Wrestling portion of the Pro Wrestling Personified podcast. But it was a terrific show in Osaka. All right, so let's get to match one. So I had to pause. I had to pause that for a second. I had to run upstairs for a second, and get make some tea because my throat's starting to hurt. So I did pause for a second. I apologize. So you might you don't care. Let's move on. So New Beginning in Osaka. Match 1. So it was Yuji Nagata taking on Katsuya Kitamura again in the it was I think this is the 6th match, match 6 of the 7-match trial series, and Jesus Christ, this match was freaking incredible. This the last 2 matches I mentioned were okay, weren't the best matches in this Kitamura trial series, but this was the best match in the trial series. This was freaking amazing. They were just chopping the crap out of each other. Nagata's forearms were absolutely stiff as crap. His corner kicks, holy smoke. And they had this slap exchange where they just slapping the hell out of each other. It was just, wow, just a tremendous opener. Kitamura was freaking phenomenal in this match. And I gotta tell you, man, I was like, I'm behind Kitamura, man. I want this guy to win. I want this guy to win a match in this trial series. And even though the wins and losses don't mean anything, and it's just to see how he's progressing, I was like, he got a few near falls, and geez, I want Kitamura to win. I want him to win this match. I'm all behind. I'm on the Kitamura bandwagon right now. I'm all in with Kitamura. I'm a fan. I love Kitamura. And geez, what a match. What a match between the two. They were just going back and forth, and wow. But in the end, of course, Nagata does wind up winning the match, but it was with I think he hit a side suplex, got the pin. But what a match! What a match between Yuji Nagata and Katsuya Kitamura. Just absolutely tremendous. And then match 2, it was a non-title match. Roppongi 3K, the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Champions, Sho and Yo taking on the Suzuki Goons, Yoshinobu Kanemaru and El Desperado. This was a very, very good match. I like the story it told because Sho, his back has been hurting in the last few matches, and and his back was heavily taped. So the story was telling is he had to, overcome this back injury because they went to work on it right away. They just worked on his back, keeping him in check, keeping him from tagging out to Yo. So it was a good story that with Sho fighting through the bad back. They tried to hit their 3K finisher, but they couldn't because of the bad back on Sho. And the match actually, which had really good back and forth action. Really liked the tag team of Sho and Yo. I think when completely healthy, they were a tremendous tag team and an almost perfect opponent for the Young Bucks. But big fan of Sho and Yo. But Kitamura superplexes a Sho right on his back. And locks him in a Boston Crab. It doesn't tap though. And I think the ref had gone down. I believe the ref was preoccupied. The ref was preoccupied with Rocky Romero, who was complaining. The Desperado comes in and just explodes a chair on the back of Sho. Kitamura puts the Boston Crab on again, and Sho has to tap. Sho taps out. But it was a non-title, and obviously this is going to be setting up a title match between the two. So Suzuki-gun, Kitamura, and El Desperado defeat Sho and Yo in this non-title match via submission. But really, really good match. And I'm guessing that they'll be having a title match down the road. But I'd like to see Sho fully heal from that back injury. Then we had match 3, which was Michael Elgin, Togi Makabe, Kushida, and Ryosuke Taguchi taking on the IWGP Intercontinetal Champion Minoru Suzuki, Takashi Iizuka, Taichi, and Taka Michinoku, otherwise known as Suzuki-gun. Or members of Suzuki-gun. Everyone seems to be in a faction. A few wrestlers aren't, but everyone seems to be in a faction. There's like Suzuki-gun, you have Chaos, you have the Bullet Club, who weren't actually on the show, and you have Chaos. So you have a lot of factions, a lot of good factions. But anyway. Enough with the factions. Get on with the match, Lewis. So this actually, they all brawl to start. And this match was all about Makabe and Suzuki again. They're going at it. Kushida is tremendous. Anything Kushida does is terrific. A huge Kushida fan. And Michael Elgin hits some decent power moves as well. But this match was basically to showcase Makabe and Minoru Suzuki. They went at it for a bit. Excellent match. Makabe hits his King Kong knee drop on Michinoku for the win. And again, really, really good match. He did a really good job on setting up Makabe versus Suzuki, which is coming up in the near future. Know exactly when, but Togi Makabe, Minoru Suzuki one-on-one match should be tremendous. And a post-match, actually. Now, they're speaking Japanese, so I really can't understand what they're saying. Makabe cuts a promo, and apparently he challenges Suzuki again. And Suzuki this time, Suzuki accepts, but he takes once again, he takes his anger out on another young lion, another young lion, and he beats down a young lion and hits him. I think it was Tomoyuki Oka, I believe his name was a young lion, but he grabs the barricade and he just slams it over Oka a few times, and it takes it out on him. And they got Izuki. Izuki is, I want to talk about Takashi Iizuka for a second. That guy likes to bite. He'll bite you. I think there was it wasn't in this match, but it might have been in a prior, on the previous show on the 6th. I think he bit somebody's ass, but he likes to bite, and he'll grab your foot and he'll bite your foot, and it's hard to see how he could hurt anyone's foot by biting their foot. I don't think he could get through the boot, but that guy's a wild man. Not the biggest fan of his, but guy likes to bite and he likes to use an iron glove. So Anyway, but the match itself was really good, and again, Suzuki, like I said, he takes his anger out on these young lions. I kind of feel bad. Kind of feel bad for him because I'm pretty sure it was Oka. Oka was down and he grabs the barricade, two of them, and he slams them on Oka a few times. So I guess, like you said, these young lions, they have to pay their dues, they have to earn their stripes, and this is, I guess, getting beat down by Minoru Suzuki is one of the ways they could do it. So anyway, we went to and I love the crowds. I love the crowds during these matches because they watch, and if something happens, there's like a gasp, and then there's like applauding, and it's just I like these crowds, and sometimes they're just complete silence. Which the Japan crowds, and I know this has been talked about on many times, not here, but a lot of people. It's common knowledge about the crowds in Japan, but I love them. I love the crowd. It's like when something, it's like they're quiet and they're kind of waiting for something exciting to happen, and when it does, it's like they don't just go nuts and start cheering like the WWE crowds. They just like a ooh, like a gasp or a loud ooh, or like a polite applause. I love the crowds, man. It's great stuff. Actually, one of my goals now is to actually see a New Japan Pro Wrestling show live in Japan and be a part of the crowd. But anyway, we go on to match 4, which is a 6-man tag match. Just rematch from the 6th. It was Toa Hanare, Juice Robinson, and David Finlay taking on the IWGP US title holder, the Switchblade Jay White, Tomohiro Ishii, the Stone Pitbull, and Toru Yano. Yano immediately runs to the turnbuckle and takes it off. So the match begins. The first thing he does is he runs to the turnbuckle, yells, and pulls it off. And then I know Juice Robinson hit him with an airplane spin, and they're both dizzy, which was good. And Juice and Ishii had a decent exchange. Tomohiro Ishii, the Stone Pitbull, comes in. But really good. So I love Tomohiro Ishii. I love watching him in action because he's, like I said, he's not the biggest dog in the room, but he's the toughest dog in the room. And watching him in action, him and Toa Hanare were just plastering each other with stiff chops. It was great stuff. Absolutely love Ishii. Toa Hanare is another guy to keep an eye on. But they were, like I said, they were just plastering each other. But solid match. But once again, Hanare falls victim to the Blade Runner finishing move of Jay White, and then Jay White gets him down and starts raining elbows on him, kind of like same ending as the match on the 6th. It just starts raining elbows on him and knocks him unconscious, and the ref stops the match. So Jay White, Tomohiro Ishii, and Toru Yano, Chaos. They're in Chaos. Ishii and I'm pretty sure they're in Chaos. So Jay White, Ishii, and Yoro Chaos defeat Hanare, Juice Robinson, and David Finlay via referee stoppage. The referee stops the match due to those elbow strikes. And I know, and then actually Jay White he gets the ref down, and he's going to start elbowing the referee, but Juice Robinson got involved and said, Hey, Jay, that's enough, man. That's a referee. You don't have to knock the referee unconscious with elbow strikes. But I love Jay White, man. They're really building him up. He's as a killer. So I really love Jay White. Big fan. But again, I love Ishii. Yano is okay. Toru Yano is he's kind of a I guess you could say he's more of a I guess you could say comedy act. And Ishii is the killer. It's kind of an odd pairing, Tomohiro Ishii and Toru Yano. They're kind of an odd pairing, but it works really well. They work really well together. Odd pairing, but again, works well. So and Ishii and Yano, they are a tag teams, and I'm expecting them to get a shot at Sonata and Evil at some point down the line. But then we get a video message Rey Mysterio is coming to New Japan Pro Wrestling, and he challenges Jushin Thunder Liger to a match on the U.S. show, which is taking place on March 25th in California. So Rey Mysterio versus Jushin Liger. Jushin Liger immediately accepted because he was on commentary at the time, and he did accept it. So Rey Mysterio versus Jushin Thunder Liger, New Japan Pro Wrestling on the U.S. show. That should be absolutely fantastic. Can't wait for that one. Rey Mysterio in New Japan Pro Wrestling. He's in New Japan. He's in WWE. He's anywhere except Impact Wrestling, where he's rumored to be headed to next. But anyway, I don't want to get into that. But yeah, so Rey Mysterio. It's good to see Rey Mysterio. It's interesting because they're trying to build the U.S. Trying to build up a U.S. audience. So you had Chris Jericho, who I'm fully expecting to take on Tetsuya Naito on this show as well, March 25th. Now Rey Mysterio taking on Jushin Thunder Liger. So they're doing a good job bringing in some top U.S. talent. So yeah, that's something to look forward to. And then match 5 was okay. It was Chaos is Guido taking on Los Ingobernables de Japan. Bushi. This was a fun entertaining match. Was okay. It was not the best match on the card. I would probably say this might have been my least favorite match of the card on the show. But it was fun, entertaining. Nonetheless, we'll go ahead and after some decent back and forth action, Bushi wins the match by hitting his finisher, the MX, and Bushi actually goes after Gator with some hedge clippers post match, but he's held back by the Young Lions. So thankfully, the Young Lions did their job there and held back Bushi from going after Gato, from attacking Gato with hedge clippers. But anyway, so then we go to the next match, which is the sixth match of the evening. Again, Los Ingobernables de Japan, their leader Tetsuya Naito, taking on Chaos's Yoshihashi. Yoshihashi attacks Naito on Naito's way to the ring, and we have some really good back and forth action here between the two. I fully expected Naito to win this match, especially after he lost Wrestle Kingdom to Okada. So I really wasn't expecting Naito to lose to Yoshihashi. But we got a good match. We did find out in this match, though, Naito did spit a lot. He did spit at Hashi a lot in this match, which is his thing, So. But like I said, really good back and forth action. Yoshihashi hit some really good offensive moves. He hit his super kick, this lariat combo for a 2 count. Then he hit a massive power bomb, which was really nice on Naito. But Naito comes back with German suplexes. He had an avalanche Hurricane Rana from the top rope. But again, more back and forth action. Actually, Hashi locked Naito in a butterfly lock. I had him there for a while, trying to get Naito to tap out, but Naito fought his way to the ropes for a breakage, and in the end. That actually the butterfly lock. I jumped ahead. I'm sorry. The butterfly lock actually happened before the German suplex and the Hurricane Rana from the top rope. So I just jumping ahead there. I apologize for that. But in the end, a solid match. Tetsuya Naito hits 2 Destinos in a row and defeats Yoshihashi. So Tetsuya Naito. My prediction was right here. Naito defeats Yoshihashi in a very solid match, but Naito, as expected, wins. So Naito is headed back, and Taichi comes out and attacks Naito. So it looks like the next match, next feud for Naito will be against Taichi. So Taichi just attacked him, beat him for a bit, and then brought him to the back, and that's that. That was that match. So I love Tetsuya Naito. He's a great talented, very talented wrestler. Fun to watch. The leader of Chaos, without a doubt, and big fan. Yeah, I thought he was going to beat Okada at Wrestle Kingdom, but I was wrong there. But I'm fully expecting Tetsuya Naito and Chris Jericho to meet at the U.S. show, especially after Chris Jericho attacked Naito after Wrestle Kingdom. So they have, it's not officially announced, but that match should happen at the U.S. show in New Japan, unless Chris Jericho goes ahead and signs another contract with the WWE, and then that match won't happen. But fully expecting it to happen at the U.S. show on March 25th, which should be tremendous. Tetsuya Naito against Chris Jericho. And then from there we had the match that I was looking forward to the most, which was the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Title. Champion Will Ospreay defending against Hiromu Takahashi, who, as I said earlier, is slowly becoming one of my favorite wrestlers. And oh my God, this match was absolutely freaking amazing. The best match of the show, without a doubt. Wow, just incredible action by both freaking superstars here. The opening sequence, but it was just holy shit, man! It's like they're not human. It's like these guys aren't human, but it was just absolutely tremendous match between Ospreay and Takahashi. And I wanted Takahashi to win this match so bad. I wanted him to win the junior heavyweight title, and it was quite I can't say it enough. It was just such a tremendous match. Takahashi hit some really good offense. Overhead suplex onto a rail on Ospreay. Ospreay handspring enziguri was just fantastic. Ospreay hitting these springboard flying forearms like there's nothing to it. It was tremendous. Takahashi just tremendous stuff. He hits his power bomb to the floor. Just tremendous stuff from both wrestlers. If you're only able to watch one match on this show, this is the match to watch. Will Ospreay defending his title against Hiromu Takahashi. I can't say enough. Will Ospreay hit a plancha 450 on Takahashi. Takahashi hit some really good cutters as well. It's just, oh my gosh, geez, Takahashi hits the German suplexes, wow! This match was just fantastic. It's just fantastic, match between the two. And in the end, Will Ospreay does hit his Oz cutter on Hiromu Takahashi, and does retain the title. I was a little upset. I wanted Takahashi to win the title. One thing though I've noticed is Takahashi is not bringing Daryl the Cat to the ring. He's not bringing. I'm sorry, I completely forgot. I said Cats. One thing about Cats is they do like a video promo before each match starts, and for some reason this video promo had a picture of an actual cat, or a video of an actual. I don't know what they were saying because it was Japanese language, but it was just, we saw a cat for a few minutes, and they were talking about the match. It was just a cat. It's weird, but anyway. But Daryl the Cat is stuff, the animal cat that Takahashi would normally bring to the ring, but we haven't seen Daryl in a while. I don't know if they're trying to make Los Ingobernables de Japan more heelish by leaving the cute Daryl the Cat out of the picture for a while, but I don't know. But anyway, I kind of missed Daryl the Cat. I kind of liked when he brought Daryl the Cat. There was a great. I remember there was a great moment. He's got Daryl the Cat and Tatsuya Naito. It wasn't on this card, but it was a few months ago. Tatsuya Naito and Takahashi must have been involved in a tag team match, and they're walking down the aisle, and Takahashi's got Daryl, and here comes Naito, and Daryl puts out his little. Takahashi takes the little stuffed fist and puts it out, and Tetsuya Naito gets on one knee, and him and Daryl the stuffed cat, they fist bump. I thought that was absolutely, that was great. That was Great stuff there when they fist bump, and the look on Naito's face was priceless. But anyway, again, terrific match. Match of the month candidate between this is definitely one of the best matches of the month, and I know it's early, but still nothing's going to be able to top this between Osprey and Takahashi. Great stuff there. Then we had the next match was for the Never Openweight title. The Never Openweight title, which was match 7. No, that's not important anyway. The next match. Whoops, I'm sorry. I hit the microphone. Might have caused a little interference there. I apologize. But Never Openweight title on the line. The champion Hiroki Goto against Evil. And this, I guess this match was good. The match was good. It was a good match. It wasn't Will Ospreay Takahashi good, but it was a good match. Lots of good back and forth action. Evil stuffed Goto's head into a chair again and drove it into a ring post. They laid down a couple of chairs and Goto suplexed Evil onto a chair to the not to the outside, but onto number of chairs. But yeah, so it was okay. Decent action between the two. I like Goto. I like Hiroki Goto. He's a very, very talented wrestler. Evil as well. Evil's a great character. And even Red Shoes. Let's talk about Red Shoes for a second. Red Shoes has got to be the best referee in the world right now. I don't know. I know that's Shota Umino's father, one of the young lions. But Red Shoes, terrific referee. I don't understand the red shirt, red shoes. I meant to Google that. I wonder if the top referee, you have to earn that spot as a top referee, and then you get to wear the red shoes, or if it's just his thing that he wears red shoes. But he goes by Red Shoes. Best referee in the world, and he usually only referees like the last 3 matches. So he's always there for the title matches or the last 3 matches. And he did take a few bumps in this match. And again, back and forth action. But in the end, Hiroki Goto does win. He hits his finisher, which was a GTR or CTR. I would think it's a GTR. That's what they said as a Goto. So I'm going to say GTR. He hits it for the win. Actually countered the everything but Evil. And great stuff. Good closing stretch. But Hiroki Goto does retain the title, the Never Openweight title that he won from Minoru Suzuki at Wrestle Kingdom. But yeah, it's a decent match. But it's hard to follow that Osprey Takahashi match. But anyway, then we got the main event. Then we had our main event, which was the IWGP Heavyweight Champion Katsuya Okada against Sanada, and I tell you, this was a great main event, great main event between the two, and I had this feeling that Sanada might pull it out. Sanada, one half of the IWGP Tag Team titles holders with Evil, but I had a feeling that Sanada might pull it out, but no, Okada did retain. But it was a tremendous match. Lots of really good action here. Okada is without a doubt the best wrestler in the world today. He's held the title, the IWGP title, I believe it's for over 600 days now, if I'm not mistaken. So he's had that title for quite some time, and I thought maybe Sanada might win, and he came close, and a lot of good action, and he actually had them. He actually had him in skull and submission. Yeah, he had the skull and submission. He hit actually prior to that he had a really sick forearm uppercut and then hit a TKO for 2 on Okada. I thought he might squeak it out there, but he locks in his skull and submission, and Okada was in the submission, and I kind of noticed that Okada kind of could have just slipped his head right out, and I did notice, I don't know, it just seemed like Okada's head was about to slip out, and Okada kind of reached back and pulled Sonata's arm back on and back up a little bit to lock in, so Sonata wouldn't lose the skull and submission hold on him. It kind of looked like that he might have just did that quickly, which was interesting. But anyway, but he hit he did get on that skull and submission, and he was able to Okada was able to break it and get to I think he actually got to the ropes, if I'm not mistaken. I'm pretty sure he actually got to the ropes to break that hold. Now here is where I thought Sonata was going to win. Okada goes for a Rainmaker, but it was countered, or Sonata ducked, and Sonata hit a Rainmaker, which is Okada's finisher, on Okada. So Sonata hit him with the Rainmaker, and I was like, oh my god, Sonata's going to win the title, and it was such a near fall. That was a great near fall for Sonata. I thought he had the title there. I thought I could hear my voice raised up talking about it because I thought he had the title there. Sonata hit a moonsault for a near fall. Just Jesus Christ! And just the closing, these closing stretches on these New Japan matches they could be freaking awesome, and this match was no exception. The closing stretch was just terrific. And geez, and I know Sonata went for another moonsault, but he landed on Okada's knees. Okada hits a Rainmaker on Sonata, but he's unable to cover him. They're both they're both down. At this point I'm standing up going, oh my god, what's gonna happen here? I was like all pumped up, and I'm thinking Sonata's gonna get it, or I was like, I just. You could hear the excitement in my voice right now as I'm talking about it, because it was just so tremendous. But in the end, Okada, I think he hit another Rainmaker. I think Okada hit another Rainmaker, I believe, and if I'm not mistaken, I think Sakata might have countered one. I can't remember, but all I know is in the end, Okada hit a German suplex, a jumping tombstone, and hit another. I'm coming back down to earth. I'm sorry. So yeah, he hit a jumping tombstone, another Rainmaker, and then he retains the title. Jumping tombstone, Rainmaker, and retains the title, and just what a freaking outstanding match. Okada is just freaking amazing. I tell you, the person that defeats Okada is I don't know if the roof is gonna blow off that building, but the person that defeats Okada for the IWGP Heavyweight Champion is I don't know, they might reach godlike status in Japan. But anyway, but post match, Okada cuts a promo in Japan. Again, I don't understand what he's saying, but we find out later that he wants to compete in the New Japan Cup, and he says he wants to face the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Champion, which is Will Ospreay, also his Chaos teammate or team member, or whatever you want to call it, or faction member. And at the they have a press conference, and Will Ospreay shows up, and he accepts the challenge of Okada. So at the New Japan Cup, it's going to be the IWGP World Heavyweight Champion Kazuchika Okada defending his title against the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Champion. And I'm crying because I'm getting so excited about this. Will Ospreay, like, holy shit, can you get any better than that? Okada versus Ospreay. Oh my gosh, I can't wait for the New Japan Cup. I believe it's in March. I don't know what show it's going to be on, but holy good gosh, that's going to be a tremendous match. And if Will Ospreay could defeat Okada for the IWGP World Heavyweight Championship, holy shit. But he's not going to defeat Okada. he's not going to defeat Okada, but I can't wait for that match. That is going to be freaking crazy sick match between Okada and Osprey at the New Japan Cup. Oh, and wow, that is it. That is it for me. Talking about New Japan, and I've added New Japan. New Japan is part of this podcast now. It's now the Pro Wrestling Personified New Japan Pro Wrestling Ring of Honor NXT edition of the Pro Wrestling Personified podcast for the best wrestling podcast network out there in the world, the Tapped Out Wrestling Podcast Network. So, and I'm going to put it out there again. If you watch New Japan, Ring of Honor, NXT, and you want to try your hand at being a guest co-host, contact me on Twitter at PWSOTH. So until next week, I'm going to say thank you very much for listening with me this week, for spending some time with me as I talked about New Japan, Ring of Honor, and NXT. So until next week, take care, bye-bye, and Okada versus Osprey in March! Okada is defending his belt against Will Ospreay in March at the New Japan Cup. It's just, holy crap. Anyway, take care, bye-bye, stay safe, everybody. I'll be back next week. So long, bye-bye.